I was never one to dwell on the mysteries of life or the afterlife, but that fateful night, when time seemed to stop, and I crossed the threshold of death itself, changed everything. It started like any other evening. The air was thick with the wet of an ordinary day. The sky above was bent and he was of pointed, and the world round me seemed as ordinary as the rhythm of my own breath. But something felt both. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was standing on the precipice of something monumental, something beyond my comprehension. As I was heading home from work, the streets around me grew eerily quiet. The usual hum of the city, the sense of traffic, of life moving forward, had disappeared into a dead, suffocating silence. My steps seemed to echo louder than they should have, a constant reminder that something was wrong. With that warning, a shoulder bankered my chest. It was sudden and intense, like a force had slammed into me from within. I tried to breathe, to steady myself, but it was as if my lungs had forgotten her. My heart bounded erratically in my chest, a frantic rhythm that didn't match the calmness of the world around me. Every step felt heavier, as if the weight of the world was pressing down on me, and in that moment, I knew something was terribly wrong. I stumbled, my vision burned, my body trembling as I fought to remain standing. The pain in my chest intensified, sending the waves of nausea through me. I tried to scream for help, but the words wouldn't come. The world around me spun, the ground beneath me seemed to fold away, and then, with a final gasp of air, I collapsed into unconsciousness. When I opened my eyes again, I was no longer in the world I had known. It was a bliss of absolute darkness, an emptiness that stretched on for what seemed like eternity. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't even feel my body. It was as if I had become part of the nothingness itself. Panic gripped me, but there was no escape. I felt no fear in the usual sense, no panic of the unknown. Instead, I felt a deep, unsettling sense of weightlessness, as if I were suspended between two realities, neither here nor there. My thoughts drifted in and out, but a single question echoed through my mind: what is happening to me? And then, as if answering my silent plea, a light began to emerge from the depths of the darkness. It started as a faint glow, like the first rays of dawn breaking through the night. It was pure, brilliant, and it radiated a warmth that seemed to fill the very essence of my being. As the light grew brighter, I felt myself being drawn towards it. It wasn't like moving through space, it was more like being pulled by an unseen force, an irresistible force that guided me with gentle authority. I didn't resist. I couldn't. It was as though I was being guided by a hand far greater than my own, leading me toward something magnificent. When the light finally enveloped me completely, I was no longer in the void. I stood at the edge of an immense, infinite expanse. The ground beneath me seemed to shimmer, as if it were made of pure energy. There were no boundaries, no walls, no sky, just an endless sea of light and shadow stretching in all directions. And then, I saw him. He stood before me, bathed in the same radiant light. His figure was not of this world, not like anything I had ever seen nor could ever hope to imagine. His presence was calm and powerful, yet there was an undeniable gentleness in the way he looked at me. His ease, or filled with such profound love and compassion. It took my breath away. He spoke, and his voice was like music, like the very fabric of the universe itself. "Do not be afraid," he said, his words echoing in my soul rather than my ears. "You are not yet meant to live." But I was confused, lost in the immensity of the moment. "Where am I?" I whispered, my voice trembling in the stillness of the vast space. "Am I dead?" "You are neither dead nor alive," he replied. "You stand in the threshold of eternity, between the life you know and the life that awaits. It is not your time to pass beyond yet." A strange sense of clarity washed over me then. I understood, somehow, that I was being given a choice, a chance to see what lay beyond the veil, to glimpse eternity itself. And yet, the heaviness of regret and fear weighed on my heart, for I know that I was not prepared to cross over, not yet. Before I could speak again, I was filled with an overwhelming sense of bliss, a bliss so deep, so all-encompassing, that it felt as though every burden I had ever carried, every worry and doubt, had been lifted from my soul. I no longer feared death. I no longer feared anything. I was consumed by a love so pure, so powerful, that nothing else seemed to matter. But just as suddenly as the bliss came, a new sensation gripped me. It was the feeling of being drawn back, pulled away from this transcendent space. I tried to fight it, to resist, but the force was too strong. It was as if I had been tethered to the earth, and my time here was not yet finished. "You must return," the voice said, gentle yet firm. "Your journey is not yet over." And with those words, I was pulled back into the darkness. I woke up with a start, gasping for breath, my body trembling with the intensity of the experience. The familiar surroundings of the street greeted me once more. The bustling noise of the city returned, but the sensation of bliss, of that boundless love, stayed with me. I don't know how long I was unconscious, or what happened exactly, but I do know this: I was given a glimpse of something beyond this world, a glimpse into eternity. And I was shown, without a doubt, that there is something greater than us, something more profound than anything we can comprehend. I don't know if I truly died that night, or if I simply came close. But the experience has stayed with me, shaped me in ways I can't fully describe. I understand now that life is fragile, that death is not to be feared, and that there is a divine presence, a force of love and light, guiding us all through this journey we call life. As I walk through the world now, I see things differently. I no longer take anything for granted. I cherish every moment, knowing that in the end, it is not the material things we accumulate, but the love we give and the faith we have that matter most. That night, I glimpsed eternity. And though I have returned to the life I once knew, a part of me will never forget the light that beckoned me and the love that enveloped me in the depths of the universe.